it's safe to say that some of the biggest albums of the year all have had deluxe albums, except for a few. I'll give you a list of 5 rap albums who have been at number 1 on the Billboard charts in 2020. Eternal Take by Lil Uzi Vert, My Turn by Lil Baby, Good Intentions by Nav, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon by Pop Smoke, and Blame It on Baby by DaBaby. These albums were decently received and some were well structured. What these albums all have in common is they all have deluxe versions released weeks or months after the initial release. The question raised in the title is, are deluxe albums better or worse? My answer to this is, in some cases, they are well received, but when you add them to a well-structured body of work, they can disrupt the experience of listening to the album. Albums do not have to be perfectly structured or made into a narrative. I'll get to that later in the video. The details behind what a structured and narrated album is, and also what a narrative-driven album is. An example of a non-structured album being well received commercially and artistically being Lil Baby's My Turn. As this was released, Lil Baby ended up taking over the year with his music. The deluxe was well received, and that album charted at number 1 on the charts for a second time in the year. My Turn charted at number 1 on its debut week ending March 14th. After the deluxe was released, it charted number 1 from June 20th to July 11th. This shows that the deluxe aids in an album's time on the charts as well as popularity and reception, with the deluxe of My Turn adding a huge hit We Paid and kickstarting 42 Doug's career. My Turn was a non-structured but well-received album and did better commercially when the deluxe was released. While the deluxe boosted the popularity of the album, not every song on the album was perfect and fitted with each song tied together. Not every song has the emotional complexity of Emotionally Scarred. Some do, but another example of a album that had a deluxe is Eternal Take. This album was released and made by Lil Uzi Vert. It was a well-structured album, the original Eternal Take, but the deluxe version has no structure. The songs do not flow into the next, and the 3 characters of the original album are thrown out of the window. Eternal Take has like a 3-character perspective of the way Lil Uzi views the events of the album and his life. The deluxe are a bunch of songs with other artists, and a majority of the songs are features. This takes away from the spacey alien atmosphere of Eternal Take and sounds like a bunch of throwaways released to spend more weeks on the chart. This brings us to analyze a few albums with no deluxe version. Savage Mode 2 by 21 Savage and Metro Boomin, Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist, and Daystar by Tory Lanez. These albums were very well received critically, not as well commercially, except for Savage Mode 2, which earned a spot at number 1 on the Billboard charts for 1 week, but that's the only week it ever really spent at number 1. Alfredo debuted at 15 on the charts its first week, and Daystar debuted at 10 on the charts its first week. When I say an album is structured, I mean it either shows a narrative of an event, or each track on the album has narration or skits to tie each song together. Savage Mode 2 has Morgan Freeman performing narration related to each theme of songs, such as narration about the difference between snitches and rats, are things better the second time, how villains envy compassion, and many philosophical aspects of a savage. Alfredo has movie clips or skits that explain the pain Freddie Gibbs went through when dealing cocaine, the Black Lives Matter movement, and the philosophy behind gang violence. Daystar presents the narrative of an innocent man accused of violence toward a woman, and how one can be conflicted if he forgives the woman who accused him, or if he hates everything she's involved with and never wants to see her. And it also presents how the media twisted the story of the conflicted minds and events Tory and Meg relate to. Artistically, deluxe albums are not the best move. Commercially, deluxe albums are the best move. Alright, so new Patreon out, and I'm not desperate for money. I mean, I already have a job right now. I got a new job, by the way. But listen, I'll have exclusive band videos, early access, behind the scenes, unreleased podcasts, uncut reactions to movies and albums on the Patreon. I only have one tier because I don't want to make, because tiers, like when I see a tier on Patreon, like I get this supreme anxiety, like, oh, I want the expensive one, oh, I want the cheap one, oh, I want the one in the middle, oh, they're all money, so like it's all money being spent. But I'm gonna have one tier, $3 a month, and you'll get banned videos, early access, behind the scenes, unreleased podcast. For instance, in June I dropped a video called Common Misconceptions About Drake. So that video was like a cool analysis on like things that people hate Drake for and why they shouldn't hate Drake for these things. So that got removed from YouTube. I put it on Patreon. It's out now. A couple of reaction videos, such as a Fredo Bang reaction video, got removed from YouTube. So that's gonna be published soon. I'll also do some cool exclusive reaction video things. Just overall, if you want to check out Patreon, third link in my link tree, and link below, obviously. Thanks. Recent scientific studies have shown that the amount of bitches you'll get will increase by 10% if you buy Mike Media Incorporated merchandise. It also has a huge Hascast logo on the back and a Mike Media Incorporated patch on the front. So click the link in the description of this video, and also you can find it as the third link in my link tree, and you'll get some Mike Media Incorporated merch. Get it, get more bitches.